Well, hello friends and neighbors. John, your whiskey neighbor here. Welcome to the backyard. Continues to be a beautiful summer here near Edmonton, Alberta, and I had to shoot outside. Now my deck is covered and it's a roaster on there. When you hit 40 degrees in the deck, you just can't shoot. So I'm out in the back. It's not perfect. TV table, but we're talking Scotch, so it's a beautiful day. Today I want to talk about a GlenDronach. If you watch the channel for any length of time, you know that I like GlenDronach more than I should. It's a great distillery, or it was, is. Let's not talk rumor. Let's talk Scotch. I appreciate GlenDronach, usually affordable, lots of good sherry. Today I want to talk about GlenDronach, their 8-year-old, the Hielan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I recently saw, well, I'll tell you more about that when you come back. Let's talk about this. It is an ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, 8-year-old Scotch from GlenDronach. So if you've got any Scotch, pour a dram, you're out in the backyard, relax, and let's share it together.
3, 4.
I know that was pretty mixed up, but it's summer, so no pressure. I was about to say that, I saw the Hielan talked about by Whiskey Straight Al on YouTube. Great guy, great channel, and he was explaining that the Hielan, or Hielan stands for Highland in Gaelic, so it's really Highland Scotch called the Highland, or that area. So that's an interesting name. What's interesting to me about GlenDronach, like I really think of them as full sherry drams, right? Full, either I've got some single barrels that have been just PX, or the usual 12-year, which is one of my absolute go-tos, got that mix of PX and Oloroso. But I don't tend to think of them as, this has been matured in a combination of ex-bourbon and ex-sherry, and it's younger at only 8 years. Now I will say some nice things about this bottle is, at least it tells us it's 8 years. I appreciate that. If it's 3 years, I'd rather they tell me that than just, oh, this is a non-age stamp, but it's likely older. So I like that there's an age on here, and as we hear a lot, Ralphie for sure, I think, coined the phrase, it's an integrity bottling, right? It's got, I thought it said right on it, but I have looked it up. This is natural color and non-chill filtered and released at 46%. So, at least it's coming to us with the right ideas, but it is a little young. Let's see what the sherry, well, yeah, let's see what sherry says on here, but let's see what the Scotch tells us. This nose is sweeter. It's light fruits. There is a bit of vanilla, but more toward fruiting, almost a banana note. That's really mushy, so not quite, but quite a sweet fruit for me. Light spice. I thought I'd get more alcohol, but I'm outside, and I'll tell you, drinking outside for me really mutes the nose. When I go down into the nook and I'm down in the basement, I smell things that I just don't get when I'm outside. So this is only the strongest parts of the nose. Even though I poured it a good 10 minutes ago, that's what's coming out here. Almost a light nut. So where that nut's coming from, I don't know, but it could be kind of that, vanilla and a little bit of oak. There it kind of singed the nose a little bit. So there is a youth alcohol nose to it, but it's sweet, like almost a sugary sweet, light fruit. Not bad. Let's try it on the palate. Slanja. Drink's a little hot. Hugs the tongue. Little rough, little barky, but there's good flavor. It's more a variety of slightly muted spices, so it's not peppery, it's not strong cinnamon, but it's kind of got that Christmas cake variety of different spicing going on. It definitely is a little rough across the palate. Better take another sip. That brought out a little bit of oak for me. A little bit of dark wood. So some dark wood, light fruit on the nose. Palate is more vanilla, hazelnut, spicing. What I'm missing from this GlenDronach for me is that almost on that edge of resinous sherry. That's that rich, dark plum fig sherry. There are sherry notes in here, absolutely. It's got a nice, I just said it wasn't resinous and rich, but there is a richness to it. But for me, it really plays, I mean, it's dark enough that it's got significant sherry influence, but it's playing really into almost a richer first fill bourbon, ex-bourbon cask. Okay. That funny, right? That had a lot more fruit notes in that nose. Well, good palate. It's still, yeah, it's got fruit, but it's still sweet and sugary, and for me plays a little more into spicing, a little more into light caramel, a little more into that ex-bourbon. Definitely sherry, but more ex-bourbon. So on its own, you know, this is nice. It's a little buttery. It's a little, I don't know, it's a tasty dram. And I certainly have no regrets. Got it at a great price. 46% and all that integrity, non-chill filter, natural color, and I like GlenDronach. So I'm very happy that I have this. It's not a runaway favorite, but it's a good dram. It's a little rougher than I expected, like really significantly rougher. And I have to say, it's just sitting at that same 3.5, 3 3/4. It's just not pushing into the must-buy territory, but it's a good dram. I want to compare it to another. I was thinking it would have more sherry on it. So I thought about, I just shot this recently, a GlenRothes 12. That's, only in sherry season cask, and it's 12, so 4 years older, but it's 40%. And it also, for me, tasted a little, less full sherry. And so I thought, oh, that might be a good one to think about with this. The nose is certainly more fruit forward, more. Yeah, in this comparison, I think I compared it with GlenDronach 12, and where it came up kind of vanilla and more ex-bourbon, now it's significantly more sherry influence, more fruit on the palate. Well, it's 40%. It's far lighter. The palate brought out some of that spicy vanilla bean. The nose is more sherry. The palate was, it's got more, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of leather. Yeah, in this sitting, I'm going to prefer the GlenRothes, even though I clearly preferred the 12-year-old GlenDronach to the GlenRothes. And I think star value, I gave these two about the same. Last sip of the Hielan. There's good flavor in there. It's a bold dram. It just has some rough edges. Oh, and that's why I had some water out here. Well, there's hardly anything left. I'm going to put some water on it, let it rest for a moment, just to see if it shifts with a little bit of water. I find the nose a little more muted. The spicing that could catch on the edge of the nose is gone. It's more gentle, fuller, sweeter fruit. On the palate with water, maybe there's a little more dark fruit there. Maybe on the edges a little more dark fruit, a little more cask influence. But it didn't make it brighter, which sometimes happens with water for me. So certainly it's a more relaxed dram, more easy to enjoy with a bit of water on it. But when I do like this, and I've had it for a little while and I've been enjoying it, when I pour it, I want a little bit of that barky nature, full flavor, and I think water makes it a more relaxing dram, but then I've got lots of other drams that are more relaxed, that are a little bit more layered than this one. So take it or leave it, definitely try it with water. You guys, thanks for joining me out here in the backyard, a little different setting. Lots to deal with, wind and neighbors and whatnot, but hopefully you had a good time. Cheers.